Hello,
everybody.
Hi, everybody. What's up?
How's it going?
Welcome to Camp Social Distance.
Day 2.
Woo!
Technically, it's been like day 4 for us.
Yeah.
Because we've stayed home all weekend.
It's
for
true.
the most part, I think. I don't think we really
Zach
left,
has
did we?
gone out the most.
I know,
Yeah.
and I'm the one that should probably be going out the least.
Probably. You
But
big dum-dum.
I've been really careful, and it's been really nice to see in Los Angeles how much the community has kind of come together to be really smart about this. Like the stores I had to go to pick up equipment, people were letting you stand far away. They had spread out their lines. There was no line though.
Yeah.
And when I went to Staples, they even went as far as the people working there had gloves on, and when I handed them what I wanted to buy, they had sanitizer on the table, and they sprayed it down and wiped it down, and then handed it back to me.
I think this is correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe they're saying that the virus can spread through like cardboard and stuff, but it's only for like a day. And I think plastic, it's like 2 to 3 days.
So, I'm not a scientist, but different microbes can be active on, different surfaces for different amounts of time. And because this is a new virus, scientists are still figuring that out and testing it. But in general, a thing like metal or plastic, those are non-porous surfaces, so it can kind of live in that liquid, the spit or the cough or snot or whatever. Whereas, more organic porous surfaces like fabric and, cardboard and stuff, that dries out faster. But specific times, the last I heard is they're still figuring it out.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? Yes, we are actually live.
We are live. We are live, and we are. I might have to get up every once in a while.
Fix something.
We are the only people allowed in this studio.
Yeah. So for a lot of people who don't know, I know a lot of the Twitch audience probably already knows this, but a lot of the YouTube audience may not know this. We live and work out of the place that we live in.
Yes.
This is our garage. We converted this entire garage into a set, and we recently just rebuilt the whole thing over the course of the last 10, 15 days. We rebuilt this whole thing. Zach, Malik, and I, we all live here. We all live on separate levels. We basically we had to make the decision that no one can come in. We had to kind of cancel our regularly scheduled programming.
Yep.
And we had to kind of rethink of how do we keep doing what we've been doing? We obviously have to change it up because we're very limited with who can be here. Not even Lucas is here, and Lucas is the 4th crew member on this team, and even he's been staying home this week. So
we even had to send Wes our PA home.
Yeah. So we've had to kind of become creative in how we're gonna continue doing stuff every week, because just like many other small businesses, we are one of those, and we have to still figure out a way to pay for our rent, pay for our lights, be able to afford food and all that sort of stuff. So we do have to be here every single day, and so we've had to rework our schedule and the
studio.
And
we just built this whole new studio for much larger programming with the crew and all these things. And Adam and I busted our butts yesterday to basically reconfigure our entire studio to allow for us to have no one operating.
Yeah, because normally, depending on the day, it's usually like myself, Lucas, or Wes, or Zach, who are kind of switching, rotating. We have a whole desk back behind that camera that it's an entire operator's booth. But Zach had to figure out a way how to literally do it from his tablet.
Yes, I'm running the entire studio from one tablet. I've got about 3 different pieces of software on this Android tablet operating
switching cameras and all that sort of stuff. So we really had to reconfigure and find a way how the hell do we continue doing programming if we have no one who can be at that computer? Because it can't just be Zach and Malika all day, every day. That would be incredibly taxing on both of them.
So welcome to Camp Social Distance.
That's right. So we're gonna have a lot of fun this week. We changed up some of the program yesterday. Malika streamed for about 3 hours doing some great cooking tutorials.
Time.
Yeah, it was a while. Then
I taught people how to butcher a chicken.
That's right.
Reduce waste and kind of prioritize how you're going to eat things in this time of sometimes limited ingredients. We went to the grocery store and a lot of things were completely sold out.
Yeah, and obviously people are aware what's happening. I don't think we need to really in terms of Los Angeles as a city itself, I mean, pretty much everything has closed.
Yeah, I do think we should talk about it because I was just talking to my parents yesterday. Now, this was before the most recent yesterday. I know there was another one this morning, but before yesterday's address to the nation. But even my parents in southern Missouri had a very different take on it.
Of course.
And I know, like, my mom and dad own a small business, and their clientele is primarily all over 65. And she was wanting to shut down, and she said that she's nervous too because she thinks the community will backlash against them for doing so because they still see this as a kind of a hoax and it's being blown out of proportion by the media. And she's afraid that if they shut down business, the local community will say that, you know, they're being manipulated and all this stuff and come out against them, which is really unfortunate. And a lot of that has to do with the president's extremely mixed messaging and terrible messaging on that front and convincing people, keep telling them it's fine. And even his own confusing messages really backfired on him yesterday when, you know, he had been telling people we have it under control. And somebody asked in the press conference yesterday, did you mean that you had coronavirus under control? No, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
I meant we, the government, are under control, and just extremely confusing, and it's making a lot of people in the middle of the country, they don't necessarily have the same reaction that we do here in LA. So I do think we should tell people what it's like living here in LA right now.
I spent a lot of time, because we had a little bit of an internet problem yesterday, just talking to the chat room and asking people, how has this impacted your daily life, if at all, going to the grocery store, that kind of thing. And I think I saw kind of two extremes, right? A lot of people saying everything is fine, which is great. This is a great time to prepare. And if you aren't seeing people fighting over toilet paper, like, that is just a preview of what's to come where you're living right now. This is a global thing. This is not just America or Italy or Asia. This is a global thing, and this is just a preview of what's to come.
Literally global pandemic.
That being said, you know, one of our community members said, I saw two people fight over toilet paper at their grocery store. So kind of two extremes going on. For me, I still feel extremely fortunate. We're not about to starve or anything like that. Yeah. Very sad I haven't been able to eat any eggs in a while. I have one egg.
That's a first world problem right now.
I have one egg.
Polished my last 3 off.
Yeah, but that's, you know, like, we're very fortunate. First world problems. There are still people who, you know, I saw today 18% of people either have lost their job or have a reduction in hours at work.
And that's just the start.
Right.
It's just now beginning. I mean, this is going to fundamentally change the country. And I think people who are trying to downplay this and say that it's fine, it's already started changing the landscape, and it will continue to do so. I don't think the repercussions of this will truly be felt until 6 months from now, when we see how many small businesses had to close because they couldn't keep up with rent. You know, businesses like us are really kind of in panic mode right now and dipping into reserves and saying, like, how do we keep this going? How do we keep our company alive?
People who are already financially vulnerable are even more so, right? I just got an email from one of the senators of California with a list of resources for, you know, families with children who rely on free or reduced price lunch, food banks that are opening. That nonprofit that I did some volunteer work, you know, they deliver food to people who have compromised immune systems, usually because they have cancer or HIV/AIDS, trying to deliver extra food just in case the people who deliver can't make
anymore.
It. Yeah, right. And also reducing... Yeah.
In any crisis like this, the first things to start reducing are to the populations that need it the most. People who are comfortable, able to stockpile. I remember when the 2008 financial crisis hit, I lived in downtown Kansas City at the time, right next to a homeless shelter, and it got dangerous very quickly because people got desperate because the first thing that stopped happening was people stopped giving to the homeless, the food banks dried up in the area, and homeless individuals got really desperate. So, you know, it got real scary out there out of people just wanting to survive. And, you know, that's going to start happening as well. But first and foremost, wash your hands.
Wash your goddamn hands.
Wash your hands.
I love that video Alton Brown put out about how to wash your hands.
Okay.
Yeah, with some extra, you know, because he's very, like, scientific in his, like, approach to things. Did you watch it?
I have not.
Oh, it's hilarious. He talks about, they say the 20-second rule, maybe like 30 or 45 seconds. And he has like kind of technique to how to wash your hands. He talks all about, bar soap is great. And he actually recommends that over liquid soap and all sorts of things like that. So
nice.
He said it won't completely protect you. With that, you'd have to cut off your hands.
For sure.
But, this will probably help you out. And he said that he's been washing his hands at least 5 times a day. I mean, it's really, it's a fun, entertaining video that he put out.
I think the other also very important thing, if you are going to wash your hands a lot, like we have been, you better get some hand lotion because my hands are starting to feel real dry.
Or you're lucky like me and you have super oily skin, and you're just fine.
I don't have that problem on my hands, but...
Well, I like to moisturize. There's a character in Doctor who becomes a dry piece of skin.
Gross.
And she just tells her minions to moisturize me. That's my fantasy.
My God.
That's what I want to become.
Well, that's what you have to look forward to, buddy.
It's fine.
Moisturize.
And I think it's also important to say we can sit here and talk about it, and we can have community discussions. Reach out to your local organizations. Listen to your local officials. I think a lot of governors and mayors in the country right now are trying to get in front of this. Make sure you're paying attention to the news. I don't mean to throw Sohinki under the bus, but we had like a Kolak cast meeting.
Oh, you can throw under the bus Jared Leto, who spent 12 days at a meditation retreat and just found out today what was happening.
Okay, well,
Jesus.
We were having a Kolak cast meeting, and Sohinki had not watch the news, caught up on anything, and we were all like, no, this is what's going on, just trying to educate him as quickly as possible. But I would say there's a lot of resources available for you out there, a lot of places that you can go and that you can discover what you need to get things done. So hit up, the internet, go to the CDC's website, go to the World Health Organization's website. I know there's a lot of issues right now with the CDC not necessarily giving you all the information.
But also state and local health authorities as well.
Yep. Chris Rodriguez on YouTube is saying, I work at Target and we're limiting the amount of toilet paper and water to only one per person. Same goes for hand sanitizer and disinfectant wipes.
You still got hand sanitizer? He must not be.
He works at, oh, yeah. Well,
that Target's not in L.A.
No, it's true. But my mom actually went to Target yesterday and this morning, and this is kind of what I expected, and I don't know what the case is like in Los Angeles. But I told her, I said, look, go as soon as they open. If there's no line or there's no pressure of a line, go as soon as they open if you can, and hopefully they have stuff. And they had disinfectant sprays, sanitizers, Purell, toilet paper, some essential foods. So, I mean, I know it's tough because some cities are also they're putting in, I think it depends on when they open, but it's for the first hour or two that they are giving priority to seniors or people who are already ill.
I'm starting to see that.
So they can get
in
before, the average person like us or me, who the likelihood of me dying from coronavirus is a lot lower than for them.
Mm-hmm. I have one more thing I want to say about all of this. I mean, actually, a lot of what we talk about today will probably be around it, because even when we start talking about the movie industry and how that stuff's changed, ultimately this is going to change so many things in the world.
Yeah.
In our lifetimes, it's the first big thing like this that we've encountered. So, but what I want to say, more in line with what we've been talking about so far, I'm trying to figure out how to word this in a way. I'm angry. Mm-hmm. I'm very angry to see things coming out of the highest government officials in power in our country at all, saying things like the Chinese virus, another White House
China virus.
China virus.
It's not even an adjective.
And another White House official today said the Kung Flu virus.
What?
To a reporter. And this is problematic on so many levels. And what frustrates me is I've seen people try to argue this online. Some libertarians or Trump supporters have been trying to argue it, saying well, it came from China, so we should be able to call it that. And it's well, that's not. You're not saying a virus that originated in China. You're saying China virus. we live in a country filled with ignorant bigots. And these kinds of statements empower them and give them this feeling that they can say and do things that are not okay. And I get really upset when my wife says things to me like, I'm more scared of racism right now than the coronavirus.
I am. It's true.
Because people have been attacked. People have been
assaulted.
Just since all this happened, Malika's encountered numerous things where people in public have said and looked at her and followed her to her car and other stuff. And
yeah, I feel like it has escalated, but I guess as a person that actually has Chinese heritage and looks very Chinese, so I don't pass as a non-Chinese person. You know, I look very Chinese. You know, being Chinese American, we have a long history of hatred towards us. The largest mass public lynching was of Chinese people. There was a Chinese Exclusion Act. You know, specifically Chinese Americans have not been loved by the rest of the country for a very, very long time. So to add on top of this, the kind of xenophobic framing that our own government has placed around this, that has impact on regular American lives.
Yep.
Regular American lives. And there should be no fear or shame about having anxiety about an illness, possibly being ill, actually being ill. The virus does not care about the color of your skin.
No, and that's the ultimate. It's like spreading that kind of stuff, like calling it the China virus, makes these 75 to 80-year-old people who are stubborn as shit not take it as seriously in their own backyard. It's there. It's not here.
Yeah.
But it is here.
Or it directs their anger towards a specific type of people.
Well,
which, that's not right.
Like I said, I really wasn't alive during the 80s. I was born in 89. But a lot of people have been talking about, and it sounds like the stories I've heard around when HIV/AIDS was happening, and for a long time people were thinking that's just the gay disease, you know, and then so many people were dying, and then some non-gay people died, and then suddenly everybody realized, this is
a lot of non-Chinese people have died.
Yeah.
Italy has surpassed China in deaths.
Oh yeah, I mean the amount of people who were in Italy when the virus spread so rapidly and went home and brought it back home is enormous. I mean, a lot of the countries that went on lockdown, they did it because they knew that a certain small group of their population were in Italy when the virus hit hard. And so they immediately closed everything. All the schools were shut down, theaters, performance halls, everything. And the whole country's bordered out. And everybody who was a foreigner who is not a permanent resident was asked to leave.
Yeah. And if we lived in some perfect world where there are no hidden connotations for saying stuff like a China virus, where you could assume that 100% it would only be interpreted as this disease originated first seen in China. That would be one thing, but that's not the world we live in.
But also,
we don't live in that world.
Why don't we do that with other diseases?
Why
don't they call it English mad cow?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like when that was going around.
Oh, because they're white.
Exactly. So, you can make the argument it did start in China. Well, then why aren't we calling it white people smallpox? You understand what I'm saying? It's the choice that you're making that creates a very xenophobic
So when you hear that
framework.
shit, when you hear it, I don't care who it's coming from, even if it's coming from the president of this fucking country, which it has, call it out for what it is. It creates a very dangerous situation on top of already a situation where we should all be coming together and we should all be helping each other and we should all be banding together to fight something that affects the whole country, so just shut that shit out the second you hear it. It comes very loaded. Cut it out.
Also, I do have the YouTube chat open, so I am watching, reading, and interacting with all you guys. To the people in our audience who are people who are still actively working every day, whether it's in food or medical. Thank you guys so much. I know for a lot of those people, it's very, very stressful because you guys are interacting with hundreds upon thousands of people every single day, whether it's in a grocery store, a hospital, or a pharmacy. And, I really thought about that yesterday, to think that people are still going to work for certain things. And
a lot of people are.
Yeah, that you have no clue who you're interacting with, who could or could not have.
And they're keeping this economy running right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
When we talk about blue collar versus white collar and who's really important in this country, this whole outbreak and situation, we are fortunate enough that we can work from home. We are working from home, and we are giving you our content and product right here, right now. The people, those of you watching who are still going to work, who are stocking grocery shelves, who are checking people out no matter where you are, healthcare workers, government workers that are still having to go in, like, you are the people holding this country together right now, and I hope that you get the recognition you deserve.
I mean, even on the educational side, universities and school districts, they're huge, huge, huge organizations. And a lot of those people, faculty and administration, still have to go in, even if they're not inviting students to campus. My mom is one of those people. She's a school treasurer for a local middle school, and she's trying to deal with, refunding $30,000 worth of field trip money for kids who can't go on a field trip to Washington, D.C. You're absolutely right. These people are making sure that society can still happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people are saying, I have to go to work, or I can only go for a limited time, once a week for 3 hours. I don't want to be, but I have to. Working in a grocery store. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And I think it was on Friday, that was kind of the day, or Thursday night when we went out. We were like, we should probably go and see what is going on. And already on Thursday, I mean, we went to Ralph's, and it was, you could get some things, but a lot of the stuff that you actually really wanted to get, it was all gone. I mean, the frozen section was gone completely.
No frozen anything.
It was the state address from the governor.
Yeah, that's right.
When he put out his address, everything cleared out.
Potatoes. No
and I'm glad
rice.
he did.
Of course.
No
That's
chicken.
the only way we can get in front of this.
And I mean, I think that's been the big thing is I feel like we're seeing our local, whether it's the mayor or the governor, taking somewhat drastic steps, but very necessary steps to try to curve this thing, to try to
flatten the curve.
Yeah. To try to prevent the spread.
If this ends up not being as bad as what scientists predict, if I see any fucking people trying to use that in some political thing, or see, it wasn't that bad.
Deal.
Fuck you. It's not that bad because people are changing their lives to keep it from being bad. People have made drastic steps and put their livelihoods at risk and their futures at risk to help keep other people safe.
Yeah.
So if it ends up not being as bad, thank fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
I can already assume that certain people will try to spin that and see it wasn't that bad. No, we've seen what it does in other countries. We're not immune. America is not immune to the bullshit that affects everyone else in the world.
Yeah. I saw a really powerful tweet today. It came from, I believe, she probably was a doctor. I'm not sure what kind, but her husband has been working in the emergency rooms at his hospital, day and night. And now, because he's been so exposed to so many people who have coronavirus, he is now literally sleeping in his office at the hospital and will not see his family for weeks. Yeah. And that's not a unique situation. That's happening, I'm sure, with dozens and dozens and dozens of people who are working in that field. So, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think the more that people stay at home, social distance, avoid going out. And I know for a lot of people, it's very hard. People want to go out. People want to spend time with friends and family. And I totally get that. We do too.
We're introverted.
I fucking hate living here with these guys. No, but in all seriousness, we are very lucky that at least we can do this, and we have the ability to, stream and hang out with the audience and the community every day and play games and watch movies and do all that sort of stuff.
I feel
a lot of people don't have that
I
privilege.
feel very fortunate that we have you all. To be completely honest, I would be going crazy if I didn't have you all. You're just as much there for us as we're here for you. Having this feedback loop and being able to talk to people from all over the world right now, it helps keep me sane in these very trying times.
Someone's saying they're trying to use the emoji feature in YouTube, and apparently it doesn't work. I don't know if we have to enable that. I might have to enable that. I have to look into that a little bit more. But should we talk about, how what we're going to be doing this week?
Yeah. Let's let everybody know
how they can interact and engage with everything that we're doing.
We're going to be doing this every day at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
We decided during these trying times we're going to do a HyperCast every day at 1 p.m. and that's live on YouTube and Twitch. So we're hoping that the YouTube audience gets a chance to know us better and understand what we do here at Hyper RPG. But also, hopefully we can convince you to hang out with us more than that. And we'll be talking about topics every day. Malika's going to be giving survival tips.
Me and friends. So I have not too much as planned for today, but yesterday I did a lot of cooking with limited ingredients. On Thursday, I actually am going to be interviewing a certified financial planner and CPA about how you can kind of prepare your finances and budget during this time. On Friday, I'm going to do a workout with Abria Iyengar, certified personal trainer. Maybe we'll do some, workout for relaxation and strengthening during this time. We'll bust out of this. We'll be swole. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I think it is really super important. And I sometimes I say it jokingly, but I really mean it. You really should learn. If you don't know how to cook right now, you should learn immediately. YouTube is an incredible resource. There's plenty of books or online recipes. Really, do yourself a favor and learn.
My number one tip, and this is how I saved money in college and stuff too, was I would just buy whatever was on sale or I would go to my favorite recipe website, like epicurious.com. I would type in kale, pork, beans, and then recipes with those ingredients would show up, and I would kind of piecemeal what I wanted to eat through what I had, and it was a lot of fun, and I tried a lot of new foods that way.
Nice.
So after Malika gets done sharing her survival tips with you, we will then be shifting to board games down here at the table, and we're going to be trying a new game every week. I actually want to show off. We're going to play that at some point this week.
Well, I just got permission.
Okay. So I'm super pumped about this. I'm going to put it right here because I can actually cut to it because I've got everything wired up in here. That's my camera. Nope, that's right. Nope, that's right.
My guy.
Right.
This is the Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade. It's got minifigs, everything. This sounds awesome. You can play as any of the members of
But thanks for asking for permission first.
Yeah. I feel like that was a very loaded response from Malika there. Sometime this week we're going to play this. I'm super pumped about it. Cowboy Bebop Space Serenade. We just got this from Japanime Games today.
They're pretty awesome, and we're trying to, as a community of gamers, tabletop people, content creators, still kind of band together and see how can we still keep business running. And this game came out this month.
Yeah.
Nice. And this is a great time to pick it up. There's a link in the chat room. There should be a command if the mods listen to me. That's great.
Today we're going to be playing a game called The Networks,
which I think is going to be a little
4 p.m.
too
on Twitch.
Real.
Nah, it's great. Welcome to the TV business. You're the owner of a new public television network. All you have are 3 awful public access shows, a small amount of cash, and endless ambition. And it looks like you're not the only new TV network in town. Your shows age every season and tend to get worse. The expensive stars you booked want to be on a show to their taste, and those ads only pay a premium on specific time slots. Of course, you have to manage all this with limited money and time. TV isn't a business for the faint of heart. Will you manage to lure the most viewers over to your new TV network and win the game? Yeah, sounds like being a Twitch streamer and doing what we do every day. Cool. We're going to play this today. The Networks.
Who's going to be the meanest network exec?
the meanest executive. And then after that, tonight and other times throughout the week, Adam and I just started doing Death Stranding.
At around 6,
and
right?
We're trying to, around
that
6 p.m.
That thing is ridiculous.
We're trying to experience Death Stranding from a cinematic standpoint and kind of critique it and talk about it in that way. And so far, it's freaking crazy. Neither one of us had played it yet, and we've been kind of deep diving in that. And I'm really excited that I just got the 4K to work, so we'll be able to play it in 4K tonight. And if we hit our goal today, our daily goal, we're going to do a live watch-along of Cats tonight.
Explain that, because the YouTube audience probably doesn't know what you're talking about.
So for the people watching on YouTube, the reason you get to enjoy a lot of the wonderful content that you do on YouTube is we have a very dedicated Twitch audience that is extremely, extremely supportive. And I know some people on YouTube head over to our Patreon, and we greatly appreciate that. But a large portion of our revenue comes from running this like a live Kickstarter. And our Twitch audience, basically every day, we have a daily goal to keep content coming out and to keep the lights on, to keep our salaries paid. And we usually do special things when we hit those goals.
Not yours.
I'm not on payroll. No, that's true. Remind me all the time.
Pretty soon, none of us will be if this keeps going.
So, yeah, we usually have fun activities that happen in correlation with those goals. And, today we have a daily goal that if we reach 100% by the end of the day, we'll do a live watch along of Cats. But a lot of this network is run like a Kickstarter, and a lot of the stuff that goes over to YouTube is just a small portion of what we clip out, and then the special stuff that Adam makes. But we probably have an extra, 20 hours a week of content on Twitch that you don't see on YouTube. That has a lot of fan engagement and interaction. But a lot of it doesn't work as well porting it over to YouTube, so we only port like the really well-produced, tight stuff to YouTube. So, but yeah. And
if you guys want to support, obviously if you're on YouTube while we're doing this show, you can use the Super Chat. Mm-hmm. Or I put a link down into the chat room, hyperrpg.live. That's attached to our Streamlabs account. So if you want to donate there, you can. Obviously, we're not telling people it's mandated because we're obviously very aware of the fact that there are a lot of people out there who are in a similar situation and are struggling. This is just for those people who are still working and can and want to help and donate and keep the lights on here.
And the way we've always thought about it is it's kind of like the people who can do so anyone can enjoy for free. We put all that content out for free, and the people who can support it financially do so anyone can enjoy it. And we greatly appreciate every single viewer, and we hope that we can always give you this content for free because some people are very generous, and we appreciate that.
That being said, I just want to remind people, though, that even small contributions mean the world to us. So, you could see pre-filled, there's different options there. Maybe you don't have $25, but even the $5 is enormous, and it all adds up. And every bit, every tip, every sub, all those things, every viewer counts. So it's been able to help sustain us over the past few years.
Yeah, or joining our Patreon, all that sort of stuff, becoming a Twitch subscriber. We even talked about it yesterday, for when we do a lot of these gaming things. You want to maybe do one of those? There you go. I know.
I would eat my barbecue potato chips.
I know. But even a lot of stuff that we do, we will usually try to create some sort of a way for the audience to engage with whatever we're doing directly. But outside of that, you're still able to tip, like Malika was saying, $5, $1. It doesn't have to just necessarily affect what we're doing. Because some people they don't have $25, but it's I have $1. I'm like, there's no shame for donating less.
Oh no, none at all. None at all.
Any dollar helps.
It's very helpful. So all week long, we're going to be doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Yeah. Like I said, we'll be live streaming HyperCast, YouTube, and Twitch every day at 1 p.m. and Pacific time. But then we will also, I think we're going to do Comics and Coffee to Twitch and YouTube as well.
Yes.
On Wednesday.
Yes.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow. We're not gonna go crazy and do $20. We're probably gonna do 1 to 2.
Yeah.
We'll each
Money's
read 1
tight.
or 2, and we'll read something on stream with you guys. I know a lot of people have been asking about Comics and Coffee.
What time?
We had to ask you, what were you wanting to do tomorrow? Did you have anything pre-planned?
No.
So we could say 3 p.m. You could have 1 hour, and then we could do Comics and Coffee.
All right.
And for those people who might be wondering about Hyper Heroes, it's really tough right now because technically everybody's on lockdown.
Yep.
I have been having conversations with those guys, and I have to have a conversation with Zach and Malika about it, but they're still open to the idea of coming here and shooting something as long as it's no one is completely restricted from leaving their house, because they obviously also don't want to leave their house because they feel very safe at home, and a lot of their, not necessarily their jobs. I know Augustine is working from home like crazy, but all of Hector's shoots have been canceled. He's working at DC and doing some other stuff, and all that stuff's been canceled. So we're figuring it out. At the very, very least, we could Skype them in and do something.
We could even possibly do a group phone call and record through audio.
Yeah.
from that board. The Rode does a really good job of capturing the phone.
So we're working on it. We're going to try to figure something out because we still want to do something together. We haven't seen each other in now weeks. It's been a hot minute. And also to people asking in the chat, yes, we do have an address where you can mail stuff. It's in the description down below. It's a P.O. box. The address is listed on there. So if you would like to, you can do that. Okay. Bing, bang, boom.
Boom.
Also worth mentioning that not everything that we will be streaming this week will be on YouTube and Twitch.
Nope.
The gaming stuff that we are doing will be on Twitch. And then anything outside of that, Comics and Coffee, this show will live on YouTube.
Basically, we'll go live on Twitch every day at 1 p.m. and we'll stay live the whole day on Twitch, but only a couple things might end up on YouTube. That's just kind of, I think, the way we have to do it. I think we want to make sure we keep communicating with all of our audiences, though, and get out what we got going on.
We've also been learning from your scout books.
That's true. We have been learning lessons.
Did you not learn a lesson from yesterday when you hit the goal?
No.
Okay, so let's start it off with a lesson, and then maybe we'll explain what our kind of partial goals are for every day.
Okay. We're just going through. We're going through becoming a wolf Cub Scout, in this very dated book. It's very clear that I never finished the program.
Oh my God!
Clearly didn't love America.
I went to a Boy Scouts meeting
and God enough
once, and I was like, "Yeah, this isn't for me."
There's some very outdated American Indian lore in here, with like little. Oh boy, it does not age well.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
What are you gonna lather on us? And also, I should preface by saying we have other things that we're going to be talking about. We will be talking about all the movies that have been delayed.
Yep.
What's coming early to VOD because of all this stuff, and what our industry is kind of doing to try to pivot and or deal with everything that's happening.
I thought also at the end, I've seen a couple different lists, but we subscribe to pretty much all streaming services here at HyperRPG.
Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu.
What are our personal recommendations of things to binge, depending on the platform that you have access to?
Oh, hell yeah.
I thought that would be a fun way to close it out.
Okay. Well, we're going to elective number 3.
Okay.
In the Arrow Point trial portion of the book, make it yourself.
What?
Watch carpenters and craftsmen at work. Learn how to handle tools. Then pick a project and do it. Make something useful for your home, church, or school. So today we're going to learn how to make a recipe card holder. You're going to take a clothespin, okay? And we're gonna do this right here
in front of my face.
Oh my God!
You're gonna take a block of wood, and then you're gonna take another block of wood, and you're gonna cut an angle on it, and then you're gonna glue the clothespin to that block of wood. Sand the pieces smooth with sandpaper or steel wool before you put them together. And now you've completed your trial, and you've created a recipe card holder.
Oh my God!
Such detailed instructions. If we wanted to get really detailed, though, we have this do-it-yourself encyclopedia from 1956.
Jesus.
The do-it-yourself encyclopedia from 1956.
That's 21 years before I was born.
My favorite stuff in here is about how to maintain an electric motor. There's some great stuff in here.
Yeah,
man.
that was one of the. I had a similar book my grandma had of how to do everything, like how to get a stain out of a piece of clothing, depending on what it was made out of. And
there's this whole section in this book about moving and how to move properly, and they call it M-Day.
What the?
And it sounds really ominous.
It's M-Day.
It sounds really ominous.
I don't know how I feel about
how
that.
to prepare for M-Day.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God. Okay.
They were into abbreviations way back then.
Yeah, apparently.
Does this not look awesome? I kind of miss when entertainment centers look like that.
Just big and bulky and
my God.
They were so heavy.
Look at that giant entertainment center. It's called a music wall.
Okay. And then you put your wife in one of the cabinets.
That's what the picture was.
Lady sitting in one of those.
Oh my gosh.
So what else are we talking about today, Adam boy?
Yeah.
You had some stuff all the way at the top here. What new projects are we launching at HyperRPG?
I said, this was my note. Nothing right now. The world's on fire.
But actually, I have been working with Lucas. He's been very busy at home working on the new Blood Bowl show whenever we are able to launch that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we are planning to play Blood Bowl, the video game, as a different group, so all your Warhammy friends are still around, and maybe this might be a good time to figure out what the hell Blood Bowl is, and what is wargaming, and why is it the greatest combination of sports plus gaming you've ever heard or seen.
The way you phrased that, it sounded like you were teeing it up for us, but neither of us know what the hell you're talking about.
Sorry. This message is for you. So on Thursdays, we're going to be doing some Blood Bowl live streaming with all our friends. Also working on our website and some sizzle reels for us internally, so that when things are fully open and back online and up for business, we can continue working with other businesses, because that is also a significant part of our revenue stream as well.
Any new videos the audience should check out? Everything. On Twitch, on YouTube, everything.
Social media.
Watch everything.
Join our Discord.
Yeah.
Discord.gg/HyperRPG.
If you join our Patreon or you become a Twitch Prime or Twitch sub, you get access to our Discord. And there's plenty of amazing people in that community.
Actually, our Discord's free to join.
Oh, well then.
There's only a couple rooms that are behind the subwall, like a couple interactive rooms.
Okay, never mind.
But our Discord's open for anyone. Our general room is totally open. Yeah, you can just hop in there. But yeah, we have a couple rooms that are behind a subwall that are like special. But yeah, anybody can join.
Well,
hop
there you
in
go.
there. It's a cool community.
It is. It's very fun. I'm pretty active in that movies TV community.
We need your viewership now more than ever. As the three of us become the faces of this company in these trying times.
I wish someone could be at the camera and just do the most awkward close up on you.
I can program that in by tomorrow.
Oh God. No. Oh God. Oh God.
I have to create a macro to do it.
Oh God.
It's easier in OBS.
Oh Lord.
We'll just save it for the
Zach
video
likes to
game
overcomplicate his life.
I have been.
He loves it.
I have been.
It gives him.
Will you stay home? Do you have any reason to go out?
What? No, I'm.
Every time Zach has to run an errand to a Best Buy or a Staples, Malika's like, that idiot. Why is he leaving?
Would you have preferred we didn't go live yesterday?
Yeah, all right. We're not having this discussion. I'm shutting it down.
Executive decision. It's been made. But let's talk a little bit about how our industry is dealing and adapting and working through this whole thing. So I put out a tweet about a week ago, and I said, hey, don't be surprised when all of the events, all of the movies, and all the things that we're super anticipating this year start being put on hold.
There's a great website. Is it canceled yet?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, it shouldn't really be a surprise to people that a lot of the movies that we were really looking forward to and a lot of the conventions we were looking forward to were being paused.
Have you seen this website?
This is an emergency. If you don't feel sick, you are capable of spreading the coronavirus to others. Please stay home and help save lives. It will take all of us working together to slow the outbreak of COVID-19 and protect those who are most vulnerable. Even one person can infect hundreds or thousands. This website shows events that have been canceled to prevent the spread of the virus. Take the hint, stay home, wash your goddamn hands. And then it lists everything.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Have you seen this?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah.
The very top. It starts with everything that is canceled.
Yeah.
Bull market, yes, canceled. But also it's like Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean everything. Every major movie, especially a lot of movies that had come out in the last couple weeks are obviously hugely affected by this because the box office was pretty decent the first weekend those movies come out, and now a lot of those movies dropped. San Diego Comic-Con. Well, we don't really know yet.
Chris Matthews was on that list.
Really?
Also the green jacket from Amazon, which I was planning on buying.
That's hilarious.
And also free samples at Costco.
Yep. All that's canceled.
Yeah.
And I know a lot
There's
of people
some jokes on that site.
I know a lot of people were very frustrated by things like WonderCon and all these conventions that were coming up, E3 being canceled. But now I hope that a lot of people are realizing why it had to be done, because if you had tens upon thousands of people going to a single convention, it would have made everything incredibly worse.
Yep.
Incredibly worse.
I had 3 panels I was on at WonderCon.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. And we have a movie theater right near us, and it had stayed open for a while, and we were kind of waiting. And then they announced, oh, we're going to reduce capacity by 50%. And then I think 24 to 36 hours later, they're like, yeah, we're closing. And now AMC has talked about they're going to be closed indefinitely for the next 6 to 12 weeks. Regal has said until further notice. I don't think they necessarily want to give a day, but we're going to sort of start to feel and see the repercussions of all of that happening. All these productions have shut down, whether they're TV shows or movies. I think the latest movie to shut down production was James Cameron's Avatar in New Zealand, one of the last ones. Surprisingly, The Crown, the final season, I think season 4, is still going, like they're still in production mode. They have apparently like a few days left, despite everyone kind of being like, well, like why would you do this? They're still full steam ahead for the next few days. We had news of director Destin Daniel Cretton, who was shooting Shang-Chi, I believe in Australia. Like he went into isolation because he thought he might have COVID-19. His test results came back negative, but everything is basically shutting down. All these major movies, and now we're seeing movies like Black Widow, Fast 9, they're all shifting their release dates. I know Fast 9, they announced it's now going to come out in May of next year. So a full year it's been delayed. I know the 007 movie was delayed from April to November. A lot of stuff has been delayed but doesn't have dates on it, Black Widow being one of them. It was supposed to come out May 1st. And I think it's really hard for Disney to commit to a date right now because they're either going to have to shift all their movies back by one movie. So Black Widow could take the place of Eternals, and then Eternals will take the place of something in the future. Or, you hope that everything is sort of settled out by like June, July, and maybe in August you can release the movie. But I don't know. I'm really curious to see how studios are going to rethink their schedules for when these movies are coming out and just kind of play it by ear for now, or like what's going to dictate how they decide that.
And that's partly what I mean by this has already and will change so many things about fundamental life and how we participate in things like going to cinema.
Yeah.
AMC can survive this.
The Vista Theater?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
like the Vista, probably not. The Beverly, probably not.
Yeah.
The Egyptian, probably not.
Lemley,
Lemley,
all the little theaters too.
Lemley's a whole chain out here in LA.
Yeah, and
But
there's only I think like 6 of them or 7 of them.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to survive.
Yeah, Arena Cinema Tech, I think it's called. But I don't know. And I'm sure everyone in their respective towns has their own mom and pop independent theater. And I really don't. And there's a lot of people online who were saying, well, you should go and like buy gift cards and do this and do that.
Gift cards that's
and like
helpful.
It's for sure something.
Yeah.
I don't know in the grand scheme of things if it's enough. But it's also like, don't put that pressure on yourself because we're all in our own very unique financial situations. I know some people are still being charged for AMC A-list memberships. I don't know if mine went through or not. I imagine that if they haven't done so yet, they will probably do some sort of an announcement on how they're going to handle that. I know for Disneyland, which has only closed, I think, like 4 times in its history, and the last time, I believe, was 9/11. I'm an annual pass holder at Disneyland, and they said that for however long, they're technically supposed to be closed until March 31st. We'll see if that extends. It probably will. We'll see.
Hopefully
but
not.
They will basically add on whatever time that they're closed and people can't go who have an annual pass. They will extend that time without having to pay for it. So I don't know. I think it's going to be really, really crazy. I really don't know how a studio like Marvel in general will be fine because they're part of Disney. They'll be fine. But figuring out like where to slot in your movie right now, when you already probably have like a year's worth of other movies by all these other studios lined up, that must be ridiculous. And those movies will lose money because of the marketing that they now have to do again to repush those movies later on. But again, if you're Marvel Studios, if you're Disney, of course all these studios will lose money, but some will do okay compared to others.
When you and I were just talking the other day about how the way we interact with movies in the cinema has already changed.
Yeah.
And this will change it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel movies will be okay.
Yeah.
AMC will be okay. But we may not get to see movies like Midsummer in theaters
I was just thinking A24.
You know, like A24 may go straight to digital release.
Yeah.
And that might be the smartest thing they could do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be a bad idea for certain things that were on the current theater slate, like A Quiet Place 2, to release straight to digital for purchase. And it might do okay.
Yeah.
You know? I think the way we think about how those movies get out and how they make money may have to change.
Yes.
But it's a weird and crazy time.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a movie, a lot of people in the chat room are talking about The New Mutants. That movie is plagued and cursed.
Yeah.
I think this is now the 5th time it's been delayed and or the release date has been changed. And at this point, I'm wondering if Fox/Disney is looking at it and going, okay, would it be worth it for us to just put it on Hulu or on Disney Plus at this point and say, like, hey, it's going to be available on Disney Plus starting May 5th.
Disney Plus, I think, will be the one that's able to do this the fastest and the most efficiently.
Yeah.
And they, we're already, they already pushed Frozen 2 through.
Yeah.
All the kids are at home.
Yeah. So for them, it was like, perfect. Everybody's home. Why not?
Viewership-wise, it could be a huge hit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I mean, Disney Plus wasn't getting as many signups as they had hoped for their service. So Disney, being that they own all of it, it's advantageous for them to say, we have a big theatrical release, just move it to Disney Plus. Where it's harder for studios like A24, where it's like, well, Disney,
they got to make a deal with like a Netflix or an Amazon. Yeah. And even looking at a studio like Warner Brothers, they have HBO Max coming out. They were supposed to, I believe, come out either in April or May, and that would have been a perfect opportunity if they already would have had that platform out. Now they can put Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn on there. And like, hey, come to our app. We've got these movies. We've got a whole back catalog of stuff. But that's not the case. Like, they don't have a streaming service right now. They could put it on HBO Go if they really or on HBO if they really wanted to. But I'm sure by them putting it out on things like Fandango now, Vudu, iTunes, Amazon, they're going to see a lot more people, going out there and trying to actually watch this movie. PlayStation, Vudu, Xbox, all that stuff. I did get a press release today about it. And they said, I believe it's March 24th, it'll be available on all those streaming platforms. And then digitally on VOD services from cable and satellite providers and select gaming consoles April 4th. They didn't talk about a Blu-ray release, obviously, because I don't think that's currently like a priority for them. Some other stuff that's coming out early. Blumhouse did announce that Invisible Man and The Hunt are coming out early this Friday.
The Hunt was smart to do that.
It was. Along with other Universal movies like Emma, Trolls World Tour will also be available to rent on Amazon, iTunes, and Vudu.
Okay, so they're the first kind of one just skipping theatrical release in a way and going straight.
Emma was a more smaller theatrical release, so I think this is kind of better for that movie in some regards. Like, now I want to see that movie. I really like Anya Taylor-Joy, so I want to go see it. Now is a perfect opportunity. We can literally order it and watch it here. And then obviously Birds of Prey is coming in the future. But I'm very curious to see other movies that were slated in April that are not the James Bond movies and the New Mutants and Mulan. Is that stuff? Are we going to see these smaller independent films get shifted to digital streaming, or will they wait?
I mean, Mulan was supposed to be a big hit for China, right? You had all those like superstars on it.
Yeah.
I wonder how this will affect how people market things in the future, because if a lot of these movies start doing digital release, one thing I know for certain about movies that have already been digitally released, it's oversaturated.
I gotta get some water real quick.
Okay. It's oversaturated.
Yeah.
Whereas theaters kind of like whittle out what you want to go see.
Yeah.
And you get excited about there's a release. I mean, even back when Netflix first launched, we were much more aware of what was being released, how, because there were less options.
Yeah.
Now there are just so many options on all the different services. It could be a little bit hard to push through that noise and figure out how to market and get people to show up.
Yeah. I'm also a little worried. I don't know. Maybe this will be okay, but I am also a little bit worried, depending on how long all of this lasts and how many people continue to lose their jobs. How big of a drop off are we going to see in Netflix subscriptions, Amazon Prime? Well, maybe not Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime also has the advantage that it also, like, you can order stuff from there, household stuff, food. So like maybe people will keep that.
But Amazon Prime as a video service, though I like it. And there's been some hits on there. Like we were just talking about Too Old to Die Young last night. Undone was a show that Malika and I just watched that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. So Amazon and Hunters just came out too. But I still feel like their service is so clunky compared to Netflix. And the quality is not great. When you put Netflix or Disney Plus in 4K HDR on, and then you go over to Amazon and put something on, it's an immediate like.
Yeah. I mean, the most classic example is the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Watching Game of Thrones, and then I think like a week later or the couple weeks before, having watched Stranger Things season 3 on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a difference! The clarity in the image.
The
was
fact
huge.
that we had to watch The Watchmen on HBO, Amazon Prime, and that's not getting a 4K release.
Guys.
There were so many times in The Watchmen ad, and we're like, well, at least when this comes out in 4K, we'll be able to see what this was meant to look like.
Every day we said that when we watched the show, and then I get the thing, and it's like, it's only coming out on Blu-ray, and I'm like, y'all, how can you not put this movie in 4K HDR with Dolby Atmos?
Bullshit.
The
show is one of the best shot shows on TV.
It's so good, y'all. It's so good.
But give me some reality show in 4K. Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy. But it's going to be very interesting to see,
Steve B. Dancer said the Blu-ray is 4K.
The Blu-ray, really? Because the Blu-ray that I saw, it's just a Blu-ray, unless they just recently put out something about it. But I am really curious to see, and I'm sure that some insider or somebody will figure out a way to pull numbers, so we kind of get an idea of like, all right, how are these movies doing on this like digital streaming service? Because I will be curious to see how many people end up buying. And I know that there were people who were saying like $20 is kind of a lot to rent a movie for 48 hours. I'm like, you're not wrong. At the same time, like when we look at how much we pay to go to the movies in LA, for us as a group to spend $20 instead of $60
and watch it all on one TV
and watch it all together, it doesn't make sense for people who live in other parts of the country where like a ticket is not $20. I totally understand that, but I imagine for them it's kind of a tough balance to figure out like, well, what's too much and what's not enough. How do we kind of try to recoup our losses here? So I get that it can be frustrating, but if you are a family of 4 to 6 or more or 3, then like it's not that bad of a deal.
But going to the movies outside of LA is a lot cheaper.
Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I mean, here in California, it's pretty expensive. New York, all these major cities is very expensive. But I'm not surprised that there are theaters in other states that cost the same amount that they probably cost when I worked at AMC, 15 years ago. Like I'm sure there are theaters that are $10 to $12. We do have like $6 or $7 Tuesdays here, and we have theaters that play movies a lot later for
matinee,
a lot less.
Baby.
Yeah,
I love matinee.
We
what
do
was
have
that
$1
cheap
$3.
movie theater, like the later,
the one on Victory.
The later release one.
Yeah.
It's like $2.
I think it was $1.50.
Yeah, I mean, we have those movie theaters out here.
We saw Get Out there, and that was an experience because that was an experience.
Yeah.
Seeing Get Out in that theater. Oh man.
Also, it's worth mentioning, and again, this goes back to like unique situation. If your streaming service doesn't have something that you're looking for, keep your eye out. Like I've been seeing a lot of Blu-ray deals. A lot of like TV shows and movies are going on sale for like $9.
It was just announced that Amazon is suspending all shipments that are not medical or essential.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get any Blu-rays, is what Zach is saying. Son of a bitch!
I got a phone call from Walgreens today saying, "We're sorry, your medication is delayed." For asthma. So I'm kind of
That's like what you're most at risk for right now.
Oh, no.
That's like the most important shit. It's a respiratory.
I know. I'm kind of like,
Oh, my God.
I have enough till the end of the month, but I was just trying to like
stock up a little bit.
Yeah, my inhaler expires March. So it's March. So I'm kind of like,
Oh, jeez. So, yeah, that's the stuff that's coming out early. If we hit our goal today, like Zach was saying, we are going to do a watch-along of Cats, which, God help me.
I don't want to watch that movie.
I guess they put that movie out today.
I just don't want to watch it.
Was it today that they put it out?
Yeah, last night at midnight.
I
had, friends in our circles were talking about watching it at midnight, and I'm like, why? Why do you do this to yourself?
Because magical Mr. Mistopheles.
Wait, did you see it?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
I was
okay.
on the Cats musical. I had to.
God bless you, Malika. God
Yeah.
bless you.
We did a musical version, RPG version.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to keep up with these theater nerds.
I know. What other, so like in terms of the movies that are either in production now or we're about to go into production, how do you think it's going to affect not just the movie itself, but all those, like the people? I mean, there's so many people who work on these movies, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people sometimes.
I mean, no different than it's going to affect everyone in this country.
Yeah.
Every small business,
They're
every
going to go back
industry.
home.
I mean, they kind of almost are a small business.
They are. Movies are small businesses because they come and go.
They're contractors.
Yeah, that's all contractors. I mean, contractors and freelancers across the country are going to be hit harder than anyone else. There's
Yeah.
no job security. You're just kind of screwed.
But, okay, so there, I'm like philosophically thinking about this, right? Because on one hand, us and all of our friends are being hit really hard. But in times of like financial depression, for example, people love going to the movies. And now people are binging content more than ever.
Yeah.
So, on one hand, there are all these people who are like, oh, why did I go to art school? But on the other hand, we are consuming more art and entertainment than ever. So I feel like there's got to be a solution here where we can adapt. But that being said, you're
but-
all on location, right? To make those
I mean,
things.
you have to be on location. We have a unique situation where we can create content
Got it.
from our home.
Animation. That's where I'm going to place my bets.
Animation.
Right? The voice actors can work from home. The artists can work from home.
It'd just be
We'll
probably
make
a much
animation.
longer process.
Yeah, I was going to say, by the time this actually comes into fruition.
No. When there's a need, technology will develop. It's great.
South
Park's
Park's just going to share their
Yeah,
tech with
that's
everybody.
right.
Well, like South Park, it's just like virtual puppetry. That's what people are going to do. Virtual
Yeah.
puppetry.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see like how this shakes out. And I know there's a lot of people in our industry who are on Twitter and they're very active and they're trying to find ways of figuring out like what can we do, how can we support, what can we ask of our government to provide for us, because it's like everyone's in a tough situation right now, and I don't know. I mean, YouTube as a platform, for example, at what point do these advertisers stop pulling ads? Because YouTube just announced that, like, hey, we're not necessarily going to have people regulating videos. It's all going to be automated. So you might see a lot more videos being pulled and or demonetized because they're either referencing or dealing or talking about, what's happening currently.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, I think it's going to affect a lot of people. Like, unless the videos that you make are completely unrelated.
Let's see how good that system is.
Yeah.
Penis. All right, we'll know in a couple hours.
We'll know in a couple hours. Blocked worldwide. Crap. That would be the worst. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see. And, again, I know a lot of people are probably upset and disappointed that things like Comic-Con, WonderCon, all the conventions that we love and all the movies that we love are delayed. But social distancing is like the number one priority.
Oh, did we delay Comic-Con too?
Not Comic-Con yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
But
We're talking about the San Diego one.
San Diego Comic-Con. Considering that has
speaking of, you should read the email you just got.
Oh, did Comic-Con just send something?
No.
Considering that, it's potentially rumored that like this thing, whatever we're going through right now, could last into June, maybe even July. I really don't think that it would be smart for the city of San Diego and Comic-Con International to keep the thing going. There, you got it. To keep the thing. Oh, I thought you got it.
Shit.
To keep the thing going and allow the city to bring in over 300,000 people from around the world. Like, it's not smart.
Yeah.
So cancel Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
y'all.
at the same time, I mean, yes, do it.
For the city of San Diego, it's a huge moneymaker. Like,
the amount of, people
the
set up
moneymaker
their
of the
small
year.
businesses knowing they will only survive because of 1 week.
Yeah.
1 week funds the rest of their year.
Yeah.
They build out their companies, they get it all set up, knowing that 1 week will sustain them.
And now, I don't know. It's gonna be
Remember
crazy.
our pedicab? How awesome he was.
Yeah.
Those people are gonna be like.
Everybody's
really,
gonna be hurting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just gonna hit. It's wild to think about. I know my brother Sam is joining us in the chat. He said they're in quarantine in Kansas City right now. It's like I feel like every city in America is going to get hard by this. Oh, missed it.
Where's that son of a bitch?
God damn it. Everyone's going to be hit really hard by this. Anyone who works as a contractor or
E3 did get canceled, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Deals with
games industry was rocked. That and GDC. Between those two. Oh,
yeah.
Very hard.
I guess it's not that much of an advantage, but because games are distributed differently, we're
already
games,
making more money than movies at the box office anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a different.
But making games
but
is
the
a different
making
story.
of the games, yeah.
Well, a lot of so I've had to do like work from home for different reasons as a game developer before. And so like programming and game design and art, a lot of that can be done at home. It's kind of like, I'm putting my bets on the animation industry. Yeah. We may have a renaissance upon us. But, things like motion capture performance, things like that, that's a little harder to do, but usually takes more coordinating with people all in the same location.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're all in this together. We're riding out this storm together as a group. And like I said, we'll be here every day at 1 p.m. to talk about these things. I know a couple people in chat when I was mentioning that earlier said they really appreciate that we're doing this every day at 1 p.m. I think some people like having that stability and chance to all get together and communicate and, just kind of share their experiences. And I hope that you'd feel comfortable doing that as well. Like, let us know in the chat room and let each other know what are you going through? What's it like for you in whatever part of the world you're coming to us from right now?
Yeah, a lot of people have been very active in letting us know, all over the world, like, how different it is.
Yeah, we have a worldwide audience. You all should be sharing together. Yeah. You have a unique opportunity to grow and learn from everyone else in these chat rooms.
I did just get another email currently from Warner Brothers, and they just told me that Just Mercy, the new movie with Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson, is also being moved up, and it'll be available beginning March 17th.
On digital?
Yeah, on digital. So I think that's going to become a very common thing for movies that were like just in the theater.
Right. They're coming out.
Yeah, like I think they're just going to push it up. It's beneficial for them. For them, people will want to watch stuff, so why not put it out so people can get access to it early? Theaters are going to be closed for like 3 months, potentially.
Yep.
Might as well.
Did we want to go through our little fun activity? You didn't put a topic down in our...
I didn't even look at that document.
It's pretty
I've been
loose.
down here busting my ass. I was up till 2 a.m. getting that router working, and I was up at 7 a.m. trying to get the router working again.
Didn't ask
I
you
didn't
to
look at your
yourself.
damn document.
All right.
I didn't need an explanation from you.
Okay. This is a double whammy for us as a small business. I just wanted to say we've been talking about AB5, and then now COVID-19. These two combinations of letters and numbers may mean we might not have a future. I'm still dealing with those kinds of things on top of
for those that don't know, AB5 is a bill that got passed in California a couple months ago.
It is the Assembly Bill 5. That's what AB5 stands for.
Yeah, Assembly Bill 5. And, FEGS 252. After working on the router, Malika and I watched episode 1 of season 3 of Westworld, and then she kept playing threes.
I played threes on my phone till 3 a.m.
We're awful. We're awful at resting. But yeah, Assembly Bill 5 is a law that targets freelancers and contractors, and it was originally designed to help
contracts. No. It focuses on companies that hire contractors and freelancers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was originally designed to help protect
contractors
freelancers and contractors.
Yes.
But ultimately, it's going to change and hurt a lot of small businesses and independent contractors that work as writers, truck drivers, medical personnel. It was
artists,
a
actors.
very poorly put together bill. And within the media industry and the kind of things we do, typically around the board, legal representation is saying expect a 20% increase in your costs to deal with all of this. 20% for a small company like us is huge. Yeah. That's huge. I'm still not on payroll. 20% is huge. And we're trying to figure out how to handle it, how to deal with it. We do have legal counsel, though. I know anytime we bring this up, we do have people that reach out and be like, hey, do you need help? What's going on? Malika's got it under control. She's working really hard to figure it out.
Sort of. We have a solution. It's just not.
It's not
the options
reasonable.
are not easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the solution is more money to cover these contractors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or we have to reduce how many people are talent on the network. That's also a thing. Like it's wild.
Don't look at me.
Which is very hard because, having the being able to like file your own LLC so that we can like safely work with you, that kind of thing. That comes from a position of privilege as well. And we are really trying to protect diversity here. And, the people who have like LLCs and stuff have already been in the business for a while.
Right.
And
finding new people of color to give them a voice and to come into the industry. This only makes it harder for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the challenge right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're working with people though, and we have good legal representation that's helping out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Woof.
Are we doing our little fun activity now?
We want to do our little fun
All
activity?
right.
Activity.
So I thought it would be, what are the best things, in your opinion, to watch and or binge on each platform?
Got it.
All right, which one you want to do first? Netflix?
Hyper RPG. I'm not going to give you content to go watch that takes you away from watching us. Watch us.
All right.
That's my answer.
Thanks for shutting down the conversation.
And thank you for watching the show.
You guys can say something else. I'm going to say watch us.
Awkward silence.
When
we're not live.
When we're not live.
In different time zones.
Sure.
Before 1 p.m. and after
Kolak 1991, all on VOD.
8 or 9 p.m.
Go watch it.
10 p.m. until Zach decides that he's tired of playing this video game. A fun one that I think people would enjoy. On Disney Plus, watch Clone Wars, the entire show, but do it chronologically.
And only until we go live.
I would say I did love the live-action Lady and the Tramp Disney original.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
I had
it's
a
like
good time.
Some people have said it's their favorite, and they're really upset that it's the one that's like that hasn't gotten any attention.
Yeah. What I liked is it was actually very socially aware, talking about racism and things like that. So Darling is played by Tessa Thompson, and also Lady is played by Tessa Thompson, which is really cute. It's just a very cute, feel-good movie. Your girls' night, family home night. This is a great, like, all-ages kind of movie for everybody to watch. And, they got rid of the We Are Siamese. Thank goodness gracious. There's an apology on Disney Plus, actually, if you look at the original Lady and the Tramp, and it said, there's a warning about cultural insensitivities that were prevalent during the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's really interesting. So watch the new one where they fix that stuff.
Cool.
And it's great.
Let's see. If I had a real recommendation, I would say check out Watchmen. It's one season. It's just one day of content. And it's just, I think, one of the best things to come out on TV in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Really good.
I really enjoyed watching Succession. My mom introduced me to that show.
I need to check that out.
It
seems like one I would like.
Sometimes it's rough to watch because the context. Once you have the context of the story, you're like, oh my god, I see what's happening.
Well, it's based
here.
on the Murdoch family, right?
I believe so. Yeah, loosely. So you're just like,
Oof.
oh my god, it's like frustrating to watch sometimes, but it's so captivating, and you're just like, oh my god. But yeah, that's something on Amazon Prime, and for me personally, like I have a lot of stuff that I have like want to catch up on, and this may be a great opportunity to do that. But I've also really enjoyed being on Netflix and just watching like The Chef Show Volume 3.
Yeah, The Chef Show is great. Ugly Delicious.
Ugly
is great.
Delicious is
was
so
awesome.
good. Season 2 of Ugly Delicious.
That,
it's only 4 episodes.
The first one we think it should win an Emmy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw somebody in the chat room emailed us once and actually votes on the Emmys.
Oh yeah.
Ugly Delicious. The season 2, episode 1, I think would be.
That's an Emmy-worthy episode.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's just as a standalone piece of TV, great, absolutely awesome.
I think we were both really impressed with the first and Chernobyl.
Yeah.
They were really great.
Both
Oh
good
shit,
shows.
Chernobyl. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I think I'm on episode 4 of Chernobyl.
Can we just say HBO's been like killing it?
Oh yeah.
Just
Homecoming is also very
killing
good.
it. They're just knocking it out of the park. And they've got a new show coming out soon about when Lindbergh was running for president. And I'm trying to remember the name. It was based on a book.
I don't remember.
Can't remember the name. I see the ad every time I open up anything on HBO, and I already forgot the name.
Barry's also great. Yeah.
Barry. Oh.
Yeah, if you want something that's like dark but lighthearted at the same time, Barry's great.
Mm-hmm. Also, Good Time. Got to plug A24. That's on Amazon Prime, and I think it's actually on Netflix now too.
I think so.
And I think I think Uncut Gems is also on Netflix. Which like A24. Still wish we had the director's cut here in the States. Makes me really mad. Or at least available on Blu-ray. I know it's available on digital, but no, thank you. I want the Blu-ray.
And you can check out on VOD of HyperRPG. I recommend, if you're watching on YouTube, one of the cool things about our Twitch VODs right now, which are unlocked for our old content, go back and watch something like Power Rangers Hyperforce and see how the chat reacted. I think it's really cool to go back in our Twitch VODs, and you can search the VODs through collections, and there should be a collection of Hyperforce, and watch it, seeing the chat room next to it of how people were just blowing up. It adds an energy to it that's really, really, really fun.
Yeah, it feels like, in a time now when you can't go to a movie theater and like feel the energy and the reaction of the room, I think the Twitch chat is kind of like the next best way to kind of feel that sense of community while you're consuming content.
Yeah, it's really fun to do that. Twitch VODs never get that many views, and I can kind of understand why, because their VOD system is clunky compared to YouTube, obviously. But if you know what you're looking for and you have a specific show you want to watch, watching on Twitch VOD is a cool experience just to see how everyone reacted in the moment. And some of those episodes, our chat room engagement was like thousands upon thousands of line of chat.
Yeah, it was overwhelming.
It's really cool to see. It gives you a lot of fun hype.
Is there anything else on Netflix? Just scrolling through.
There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Right.
Like really good stuff too.
Step aside, guys, for you rom-com lovers and reality TV bingers.
Oh, it's not coming through the board. Your laptop's open.
Should I close my laptop?
No, your alerts are on.
They're just
yeah, because I use it for streaming.
They're just notifications about people contributing to our stream.
Ukami Luna.
It's fine.
They tipped and said, I always look forward to watching you. This is the best community. Love you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for that.
Rom-com lovers, To All the Boys I Loved Before and P.S. I Still Love You, both out on Netflix. P.S. I Still Love You just came out on Valentine's Day this year. I don't know if it's as strong as the first one. The first one, there's a lot of surprise. You're like, are they going to get together? What does he think? What does she think? But the sequel, you're kind of...
what's the surprise there? That sounds like a rom-com script.
Well, exactly.
There's a lot of surprise.
Well...
Are they going to get together or are they not going to get together?
Well, that's kind of the premise of the story. But, she's already paired up at the beginning of the second one. Mm-hmm. So it's more like, is she going to leave him or not? And then she does. But then are they going to get back together?
Spoilers.
Hey.
Spoilers.
This is every sequel to every rom-com.
You asked for this.
It's a lot of fun. And I think for, people who are trying to sort out like the coming of age genre, it's changing a lot. And this is actually a really great example of it.
Yeah.
And then also, if you have like a younger sibling or if you have your own like teenage kids, I think these films actually have
you are a teenager.
Or you are a teenager.
As if.
I think it's like,
gross.
I'm an old lady, so maybe I don't have a good understanding of what it's like to be a teenager. Mm-hmm. But I think it has a very honest portrayal of like, maybe this is how to be decent as a person, but how hard that can be at that age, given society right now. I closed my laptop.
You obviously did
I see that The Dark Knight is listed on Netflix under sci-fi and fantasy. Is that a little weird?
Okay.
Is that a little weird?
Okay. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know.
Sharile's tip, $27.50, which is super, super generous. Says, I love Kolak. Hope it will be back soon. Stay safe. I'm usually not in chat since I'm based in Europe, and the regular stream are during my sleeping time. Well, thank you so much for your contribution and supporting HyperRPG.
Mimi's
and
time.
I hope you're staying safe over in Europe.
Salt, fat, acid, heat. Really good.
Oh,
so good.
So beautifully
really
shot.
We watch a lot of food shows here.
So it depends.
Hey, man. Cooking's fun.
If you want to watch a lot of like suspense drama stuff, there's shows like Watchmen and Chernobyl. They're very strong. If you want to turn your friggin' brain off, because I have to tell you, like, Zach has this habit of wanting to stay informed, which is great. which he means he always looks at his phone.
She still said it with some shade behind it. You still heard that shade.
She still gave
looking
you a
at
little like
political tweets, and then also he has CNN on all the time, and it gives me like panic attacks. It's extremely stressful for me, so that's why I stay up till 3 a.m. playing mobile games. But sometimes you like don't want to watch like the pandemic like dramatization type shows, you know?
So Contagion, probably not a top contender.
Right.
I was really enjoying Contagion, but, I guess I can't watch it in this house.
One of my favorite shows to watch to relax is The Repair Shop, which is a British reality TV show.
It's Sleeping the TV show.
Yeah, it's so charming. It's so it's really cute.
All the way
through. It's touching.
No,
it's
I will say it's
heartfelt.
fascinating because it is so dry.
I don't think it's dry. When they repair that old grandfather clock, it's like restoring the memories of their loved ones that had passed on. So basically the premise of the show is it's part of a museum, and these people are all craftspeople and repair people and like restoration type people, right? Yeah. So people bring in like old antiques. And it's kind of like the sweet version of like, America, we have Antiques Roadshow. Yeah. And people are like, I found this painting in my aunt's house. How much is it worth?
Imagine that. Turn like the volume down 50%.
And instead of focusing on the monetary value of an antique, they focus on the emotional value of an antique, right? And so they'll be like, hey, I had these toys when I was a kid, but now they're broke. Can you fix them for me? And just like learning. See, I'm a sculptor, right? So I believe objects have power. And I love hearing about how other people have objects in their life that are extremely important to them, and how like, we're in a very throwaway culture, and maybe this is a great transition to my next segment.
Oh, there's another segment?
Yeah, I'm going to talk survival skills.
Right?
Oh,
okay. That one. I thought, I was like, whoa.
We live in a very throwaway culture, and repairing and valuing things that are well made is a lot better than using and throwing away like single-use type stuff, right? So that's what that premise of that show is about. So if you want like a nice, like heartfelt, cozy British reality TV show that's not about reinventing how you look, but just repairing and preserving treasures. For example, this monkey that we have for Cola.
Yeah, that was an episode.
There was an episode about restoring that monkey and how it's actually supposed to be like puppeted and everything. So
I just love that we've spent far more time talking about this show than Watchmen.
we can do that as well.
No, it's funny. The show is...
It's so cute.
It's cute. It's well done.
Very cute.
It's very dry and quiet. And like put you to sleep immediately.
Yeah, if you want to relax.
Go to bed music.
But like people need that right now.
Yeah.
People need that.
You know what I also love that you watch?
Oh, the domestic ASMR. All right. Shout out to
opening that Pandora's box.
It's so good.
All right.
Malika's upstairs cooking, and she has this like cooking ASMR YouTube channel on, and it's the most relaxing fucking thing I've watched all day probably.
And then I come storming up the stairs. God damn it, the fucking thing's not working.
When he says stomping up the stairs, he's not exaggerating. Zach is like an elephant when he runs up and down the stairs.
You know what? Like
it's like
when I'm here. And I hear you coming down the stairs.
It's a tornado.
I feel like you're about to fling open the door and yell something. Like we've talked about this.
Yes.
Like the whole cast of Kolak is like, we hear just like.
And it's like.
And then you're going to yell about something.
Like, oh my God.
Cool.
So that's why I have to listen to
I could make you guys feel bad about why I have to do that, but I won't.
Quiet videos. Quiet
this is why we need ASMR.
I know it's probably about your needs.
Just sweet.
But, some people just need to take a deep breath and let it all out.
Yeah, but fuck those people, all right? They're not welcome in my house. This is a stressful place. We run live content like 10 hours a fucking day, and the world is ending around us.
See, the elephant just came down the stairs.
You know what? Before I met you, I think I handled stress worse than you. But by living with you, I think I now handle stress better than you. I think it's completely possible.
Guys, you guys are getting a nice inside look into all of our lives.
You are so good at throwing passive shade. One of the best. You're going to be such a great mom one day.
Oh, I'm ready for it. Have you seen my dog? So Hiki said it's one of the best behaved dogs he's ever met.
Yeah, that's definitely not what I'm talking about.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I think that's a good... Oh, Hector Navarro has entered the chat.
Wow.
What the hell is happening?
Well.
Well, you're not here, first of all.
Enjoy your quarantine,
Yeah,
Hector.
I know. But I was telling people that we're going to try to figure out a way to get myself, Hector, and Augustine into a room, whether it's physically or digitally, and just kind of talk about what's been going on. And now with all these movies coming out on streaming services early, it could be a fun opportunity to talk about those movies and see how we can now all watch them together, because I know we have a certain amount of people in our audience who maybe doesn't go see certain types of movies, but maybe we can all talk about Invisible Man. That would be really, really fun.
Oof.
But what? You didn't like that movie?
Oh, no, I liked it, but it's a hard one to talk about.
Oh, I know. It's rough, but it's very good. It's a very well-made film. I will say that.
I thought about leaving the theater when we were watching it together as a group, but then I was like, oh, no, I drove. I'm the ride. I have to stay here.
Wow.
Not to put that on you guys.
No,
but it was just the one thing, and I'm like, all right, I'll tough it out.
Yeah, that's some powerful shit.
Yeah,
it's a really good movie.
It's like it gets in your head.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you feel like that's a good place to conclude?
I think that's a great time to conclude
episode of this week?
Episode 1 of HyperCast from Camp Social Distance. But if you're on YouTube, you should head over to our Twitch, because though the YouTube stream may end, we're immediately cutting to our mobile camera setup for Malika to take you upstairs and teach you some survival skills. And then we'll be coming back down to play some board games and some video games. We're going to be live all day on Twitch, so if you're on YouTube, head over to twitch.tv/hyperrpg to spend the rest of the day with us, chilling while you are weathering out the apocalypse.
To put it lightly. And then also just stay tuned. Follow us on social media. We're going to be posting stuff, and anytime we have an opportunity to go live on both platforms, we obviously will, whether it's some sort of like comics and coffee or maybe some other thing that we decide to do. Just make sure you follow us at hyper_RPG on Twitter. That's probably where we're going to be the most active, along with Instagram, which is just hyperRPG. We'll all be posting stuff individually on all of our channels as well.
I tried to play tic-tac-toe with a dog.
Links is always down below, and we'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. Pacific on HyperRPG.
Bye.